So we are back with another video on an installation on this truck, and we are super excited to show you guys something amazing from Canada, from the one and only Adrenaline Offroad. This is the RGBW+T Adrenaline Offroad Starlight headliner. Now currently inside of this truck we have a 296 piece. It's okay, and it was a good starter kit, but I want something that was a lot brighter, that held up a lot better than that. This is going to be able to be controlled through your phone, mobile app, and it comes with a controller. There's a lot of different things that separates this from the basic Amazon one that I used to have. I think one of the biggest things that I'm excited about on this is 50 watts, so it's going to be stupid freaking bright. My old one definitely was not very bright. It was good enough just to get me by, but as you all know, we changed up a bunch of stuff on this truck. So when I continue more with the brightest Starlight headliners on the market. So let's start by opening this box. Let me show you what's inside, and then I'm gonna show you how to take out your old Starlight headliner, pull it out of a single cab, and put it back in, hopefully within like a day, because that's about what it took on my last one, but we'll see how this goes. And also, before I forget, Adrenaline Offroad sent us a beautiful freaking t-shirt to rep while doing this unboxing. So shout out to Adrenaline Offroad. The link for this Starlight headliner kit will be down in the description. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Stay tuned for all the upgrades and more coming to this truck, and make sure to check out the description for all of our other social medias on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and make sure to go check them out. So let's hop into this bad boy. People that write out thank you notes personally for boxes, people don't realize how genuine that is to a customer. Like that's awesome. Writes these out all by hand, freaking crazy. So we got our lead here. I think this is 15, I believe it's about 15 foot of lead or so. So we'll have plenty of lead. Holy smokes. We got our Adrenaline Offroad sticker, real nice. Our Bluetooth remote, also controllable through the app. And then our 50 watt freaking engine that's going to be running this thing. So the biggest thing I think on this for us is going to be finding a good place to hide this on the truck. I mean, it's not as big as I thought. I thought it was a lot bigger than this, so hopefully we can put it behind a column or something, but I guess we'll get to that problem
when you get there.
When we get there. Okay, so we are currently in the truck. It is full daylight outside, but I basically covered all of the truck so there wouldn't be any light to get in, so I can kind of show you what it would look like if it were dark out. The one thing I have not been very happy about on this set that I currently have is that you can't really tell the twinkling light effect at night. You have to kind of sit there, stare at it, and after staring at it for a minute, you'll kind of see the twinkles, but I wanted more than that. So kind of like I was saying, you have to like almost sit there and stare at it to notice a little bit of a twinkling effect. I'm not even sure if you can see it on the camera. So you like focus in and look at it. See, you can see it a little bit, but it's not much. And this is dark enough in here to where you can see the Starlight headliner pretty well, but in my opinion, what's the point of having a Starlight headliner if it's not really going to twinkle very well? So now, whenever we do the second video, it will actually be dark outside so I can get a good one. I have old videos, but nothing really enough to show the Starlight headliner, so that's kind of why I have this rigged up. So here's a good before, and then I will show you the after once it's done. All right, now that we've got the night shot of the Starlight headliner, let's get this out. So before I pull that headliner down, I still got a few pieces left. I thought I was a lot closer done than that. Yeah, so I'd say a good 20 minutes. 1, 2 in there. Probably, it's a 10 or an 8. I think it's 10 or 8. Definitely an 8. We get me an 8.
Yeah.
Thanks. So, I can't, only reason I'm saying is because this was 4 years ago, George, and he didn't know any better. So what he did, which I give this man props because he hit the wires really good. Well, he ran this wire down here, down the column, around the dash, up here, and that's how I powered that off my janky 8-foot cord. Because I forgot this was years ago. And so it's controllable through a remote, and I was just like, how does this even plug into that? I was thinking about this like just a few weeks ago. I'm like, I don't know, whatever, it works. Well, it's because your boy made a custom, he put positive and negative, and wired them all together and hooked it up to that. So we are not going to be doing that again. Past George, you did an okay job. Truck didn't burn down 3-4 years later, so good job. But next time, let's try and make sure we did a little better way.
See?
Oh, I see. And we have a headliner out of a single cab. Sheesh!
Way to go.
So my girlfriend did make a good point. She said, can't you just like pull this whole thing back? And okay, that one's not doing it. But since this is kind of facing that way, it pulls out like in 30 seconds, and the fibers and everything come out with it. So there's that.
You're welcome.
Man, that was a long
15 minutes.
Uninstallation. So that can be, I think we were going to give that to my buddy. So crew, I hope there's enough lead on there. You have a single cab, so I think this will still work. I didn't really think of that till I ripped them out. Well, it should.
I think it'll be okay.
You got to clean up the ends a little bit. They're kind of.
You can just snip them.
They kind of pull off. They pull off a little bit.
I don't know.
So yeah, we're good to go. I'm going to go ahead, throw this inside, get my sweaty shirt off, and we'll continue this. So I'm just going to do this sick transition. It's going to be the next day. Bam! And there's our sick transition to the next day. So we have the Starlight headliner currently pulled out of the truck, obviously. And you can see our old dots on here. And the way that we set this up, let me show you real quick, is we have it split up into 4 different, 4 different sections. Now the reason that we did that is to evenly disperse all of the little fiber cables in it. So with 500, obviously we divide that by 4, and that gives us 125 per row. One of the biggest tips that I can give towards somebody doing this is when you mark everything off, do not forget to add a few dots actually going across the line. What I did last time when I first did it, I put 1, 2, 1, 2, and I was putting it on the top and bottom or left and right, whatever, of the line. So whenever I actually turned my Starlight headliner on, you could almost, there was like a black empty spot that was separating all 4 of these, if that makes any sense. One other tip that I can give to you guys doing a Starlight headliner is don't put them on your visors. And when I'm talking about visors, is this little gap you see here, that's a little flip up thing that kind of covers the sun that gets in your eye. Well, that's up 99% of the time at night. There is no reason to have it down. And the only time you actually have it down is during the day. And when do you turn your Starlight headlights on? At night. So this thing stays down the entire time at night. You only turn it on during the night, and during the day you have it flipped down to keep the sun out of your eyes. You're just wasting stars here. I think I counted like 13 or something stars there. So that lets me spread it out over more of the headliner's area, so more stars. So you're not wasting as many stars. So it looks like we got our total of 204 extra holes poked through. So let me show you what it looks like. We added 51 per little square patch, and then we also removed the ones that were covered by headliner, so those were kind of moved up forward up here more where they're seen. Same thing on this side, deleted those and moved them up forward. So now that we've got it inside, we get to count all 500 of these out one by one till we have 105 in one hand. Tape that up, count another 105, count another 105, and then they'll be split into 4 groups. Now, the reason that we're starting from the bottom and separating it is because if you try and count out your fibers at the very end, these are all interwoven into each other and they'll just start getting tangled up. So we start from the very bottom. I'm going to count out my 100 or so, whatever, and then I'll break this apart, follow this strand all the way through, and basically split it up. So now we have got these bad boys separated, 125, 125, 125, and another 125. And so we're good, probably 40 minutes in. That's her side there, and she's whooping my butt. I'm not very far in on this, but we're slowly working our way out. Same thing on this side, working our way out. Then we'll hop over here to this side, rinse and repeat. So we've officially finished running the fibers through the headliner, and let me show you how it turned out. So we got it all figured out here. I was going to take out the foam here, and I had the holes marked out and everything for it, but my bit was not long enough to pass through. It was able to hit a few of those through there, but either way, I just didn't really want to put anything in the foam because this is sitting flush up against the headliner, so I feel like it'd be squishing the fibers and it's going to bend them, and I don't want them over time to break. So to keep it from breaking or anything like that, we just went the safe route and went around the foam. And then we went through and, as I said earlier, deleted those, so we were able to add more Star headliner in there, and it's time to start gluing this bad boy. Now you can go about this next stage on gluing one of two ways. You can start by doing one side at a time, one corner, and then gluing that corner. So like pulling it through just this corner here and then gluing it, that one's set, start on the next one, pulling it through, gluing it, and just go one at a time. Or we can do what I did and just put them all through and glue. Now I know it's going to be kind of difficult to work around all those fibers and it's going to be annoying obviously, but I went about it this way because I still need to make sure that I have enough slack laying out of that fiber so that it'll reach the Bluetooth box, if that makes sense, because I didn't want to mess up, glue them in, and then go to install it, and then, you know, my slack that's hanging down that goes to the box, it's like hanging in midair because I didn't leave enough slack for it. So I kind of went about it this way because I wanted to be safe, make sure I still had enough room, test fit it. Okay, yeah, it sits on the ground, you know, it's well hidden, and I won't have to re-glue or anything like that. Okay, so what I ended up doing is pulling probably about another 1.5 feet out just to make sure that I had plenty of lead, because once you go and cut those, you're not going to have any room left. So now that once you've done that, what I ended up doing is running a few more electrical tapes to kind of keep it nice and close together. What we're going to end up doing is, yes, I know that this is a little bit of a rat's nest because I pulled it back up. Now that I've got the length figured out, this is how much I want sitting out, yada yada yada. To go through, clean this back up, and basically pull my fibers back through so it sucks it back down and cleans it back up. And then we'll go through and add more of these so we can clean this up and make it look nice and pretty. And so now we're at the clip where we are going to start gluing everything down. Now this I did as an example to show you guys how this is supposed to look. It's nice, clean, everything's pulled out of the way, going one way, and that's kind of how I want the rest of these. I want them all running this way. So that's the way we're going to do it. And what I ended up using is just a cheap little Dollar General glue gun. You don't want one that's super high heat. This is the Hot Melt mini glue sticks that you can get from Dollar General. I think that was $5, and I think this was like $3. So you're about $8 total in it. And whenever you're gluing these down, don't worry about these folding because the heat is going to fold these a little bit. They'll be sitting directly like this, and as soon as you glue them, they're just going to wham and kind of like sit sideways. It's not melting it, it's just with the heat, it's bending them a little bit, but that's all fine. So make sure to get like a cheap one that doesn't get super hot. Obviously hot enough to melt glue, but not super hot. If you touch this, it's going to melt it off. So once you pull them through, it's going to clear up and it's a lot nicer. So what I like to do is when I start gluing, I will push one in a little bit, not super tight, just a little bit of slack, little dab of glue, push this guy in a little bit, little dab there, and just rinse and repeat. So all you got to do is just barely push them in a little bit, add a dab of glue, and it'll stay nice and tight just like this one here. So now that I've pushed that guy in, a little glob of glue, push it around the front and the sides, and you'll see it kind of settle a little bit. I kind of push that off the foam, and you're set to go. Push him down a little bit, grab a little dab of glue, both sides, and she's set to go. And so now we went through, we glued everything down. It's looking pretty good. I added a little bit of tape just to kind of clean it up so everything's not so spread out. And this is kind of what mine looks like. So obviously, I mean, it's not the best, but honestly, it's not too bad. I ended up running everything down here to the corner because that's about where everything's going to come out. We still got a lot of cutting to freaking do on this, but overall, I mean, I'm pretty satisfied with how it looks. But I mean, we're pretty much done with it, so let's get on it. from this to this. Finally, it is done. It really wasn't that bad, as I've always talked about in the past. It's just time consuming. Time consuming is the biggest thing. If you have somebody helping you, like my girlfriend, a significant other, whatever, is definitely going to help pass the time. And then here is the final back part of the headliner. Overall, I'm pretty satisfied with it. It could have been cleaner, but it's really not bad. Here is our lead, and I'm hoping that I left enough slack, because whenever I was pulling these through, I think I pulled it in a little too much, but we should still be able to make it work. But I think that's going to look pretty dang good, guys. So huge shout out to Adrenaline Offroad, guys. You can buy this kit and many more kits bigger than this or even smaller. It's Adrenaline Offroad. You can check them out down below. I tag them in the description. If you guys got any questions, let me know. Now let's go ahead and get this bad boy installed and see how bright this bad boy is. And to be honest with you guys, I'm actually very surprised with how bright these are. My other cheapo little Amazon set would not twinkle this bright during the day. It wasn't bad during the night, and I was just like, okay, you know, it's pretty decent. But it had to be either in the dark at some point or actual night to be able to twinkle like this. So I can't imagine how bright this is gonna be during the night. And this kind of just goes to show to all those people that say, oh, it's the same stuff as Amazon, it's the same stuff as so-and-so, blah, blah. Adrenaline Offroad definitely blew this set out of the water. Compared to my cheap Amazon set versus this that are the same products as everyone says, you can definitely tell a big difference in this. So I'm gonna play with this a little bit longer, and then we're gonna go through, finish putting everything all together, and show you guys how bright these bad boys look at night, because this is all new for me. 296 is what we used to have, 500, hell of a difference.